There's a line of dialogue in Us which will probably go over most people's heads when they watch this film, where the Wilsons' son Jason says, when you point the finger, you've got 3 fingers pointing right back at you. If you want Us summarized in one line of dialogue, I would say it'd be that bad boy. Hey up guys! So today's film under the microscope is the highly anticipated horror film Us, which is the directorial follow-up of Jordan Peele. The man's previous and first ever feature film was Get Out, and that was a runaway smash hit, not just with critics, but with audiences and the box office, and that's because it was a tightly wound, intellectual, and original social satire, which sent shockwaves throughout the zeitgeist. And Jordan Peele even took home an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for his first ever feature film. Okay, there's a lot of pressure to follow up a debut that made that much noise. But I'm happy to report that Peele's sophomore project, whilst not reaching the same heights as Get Out, is still a disturbing, hilarious, and thought-provoking follow-up. People are inevitably going to compare Us to Get Out, but whilst they may share Peele's signature blend of horror and humour, they are very different films. Get Out was a social commentary on race relations in a post-Obama America. Its message was clearly embedded and had a consistent through line. Us, however, isn't as laser-focused with its message. There's more on the platter for us to digest and interpret, because this film can be viewed in many different ways. It's an allegory for class and privilege, the American dream, socialization, but it's also about the fear of the other, the terrorists, the perverts, the kidnappers, the ones that are different to ourselves. There are so many different ways to view this film, which is why it's a film that begs to be watched more than once. The plot of Us is set in modern-day America and is centered around the Wilson family, who take a family vacation to their summer home in Santa Cruz. The mother of this family, Adelaide, who's played in this film by Lupita N'Yongo, suffered a past trauma here back in 1986 when she was about 8 years old. And it seems the past is catching up to her when a family of 4 show up in the middle of the night on their driveway and then break into the house. These 4 people turn out to be doppelgängers of the Wilson family, and they refer to themselves as the Tethered, and they are out for blood. They wear matching red jumpsuits and one driving glove. It's almost like a nod to Michael Jackson's zombified look in the Thriller video, which does get a reference at the start of this film, by the way. And they use scissors as their murder weapon. To tell you any more would be spoiling it for you. So what did I think of Us? I thought it was brilliant. It's another horror movie with something to say. It's gorgeously shot and lit. Michael Abel's score is chilling, and all the performances in it are excellent. Lupita N'Yongo, oh my god, she is a tour de force in this film. You want to know what versatility is? Look no further than Lupita N'Yongo's performance in Us. I'm guessing in 10 years' time, the Oxford English Dictionary will just have a picture of Lupita N'Yongo's face in this film next to the word versatile. Her performance in this film is all over the spectrum. You get so much from one film from Lupita N'Yongo. Like, as Adelaide, she is this gentle, fragile, introvert mother who slowly blossoms into this fierce lioness who wants to protect her cubs, but as her doppelganger Red, she is this raspy, guttural nightmare personified. It's a stupendous performance from Lupita N'Yongo because she captures the duality of the characters, which is an essential part of this film's message, that these doppelgangers are just their shadow selves. They are a part of them, and they are present within all of us. Us is a very smart film because Jordan Peele knows that typically in horror films, it's the fear of something different to ourselves that we perceive to be the main threat. A zombie, a werewolf, a monster, it's always something other. But in real life, we are so quick to point the finger and place blame that we don't realize that we are the problem. We are the villains. We are our own worst enemies. As the doppelganger Red says, we're Americans, which is why the title of this film carries a double meaning, because Us can be meant as the doppelgangers, they are us, and it also is a play on the spelling, US, as in USA, us. Jordan Peele is telling us to look within because the problem is staring right back at you in the mirror. This is why Jordan Peele is the man. He makes films that are so entertaining, but they also allow for inner reflection and they start conversations. You can see the influences that Jordan Peele was inspired by. There's a corridor sequence towards the end of this film which uses the space very much like Stanley Kubrick does in The Shining, and also there's nods to Alice in Wonderland because there are lots of rabbits in this film, which when Adelaide is chasing rabbits down the rabbit hole, and there's also a scene where her face is smushed up against a glass coffee table and the glass slowly starts to crack, literally through the looking glass. And the House of Mirrors sequence was inspired by the Twilight Zone and also feels like something you'd see in a Black Mirror episode. I do have a few negatives though, like the ending of this film is very convoluted. When the revelation comes about who the doppelgängers are and where they come from, the explanation is baffling. Despite Jordan Peele's best efforts to make it make sense, it just doesn't. And like a soft cheese, if you prod it even just a little bit, all logic comes oozing out of it. Also, why scissors? What was the significance of all the killers having a pair of scissors? I didn't get that, did you? And there were a few editing choices which didn't quite work for me, like the scene towards the end of the film when Adelaide is by herself and it's building towards the revelation and the climax. I was really invested in that, but then Jordan Peele decided to randomly cut back to the rest of the family just to check in and see where they are. And I was like, no, we didn't need to cut back to the family. I was enjoying watching Adelaide go down the rabbit hole and the dread was rising, and this cut back to the family just completely deflated all the tension. I was just like, we didn't need that. In the end, guys, I still thought Us was a great film. I wouldn't say it's as tidy as Get Out, but there's so much imagery, symbolism, and hints hidden in plain sight that you'll want to watch this again. I know I do. Everybody in this film is amazing. The whole family, the parents and the kids. The atmosphere in this film is great. It slowly bubbles with more and more dread. And it's also balanced quite nicely with great humor, mostly provided by Winston Duke, who plays the dad. His dad jokes were great. They just added so much levity to this film. Yeah, Winston Duke was great. And the use of music in this film is fantastic. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to listen to Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys the same way again now that I've seen Us. And there's also this beautiful orchestral version of I Got Five on It, which is the song that you might have heard in the trailers. And the arrangement of it is gorgeous and it's hauntingly effective. But in the end, guys, what Us really proves is that Get Out was not a fluke, and Jordan Peele is one director to watch out for. So let's ask the three questions. Will I watch it again? Already said it, this is a film that needs to be watched more than once, and I cannot wait to watch it again. But would I recommend it for you guys? Yes, definitely. Like I said before, it's not as tidy as Get Out, but it is a film that is definitely worth paying to see at the cinema. And what score do I give it out of 10? I'm going to give Us a score of 9 out of 10. There we go, guys. That is my review of Us, but this is just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this film? We need to chat about this movie. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And my quick question for you guys today is, which movie did you prefer? Us or Get Out? That is the big question. Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in that comment section below. If you guys do like my channel, please do not forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can find all that information in the video description link below. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you guys next time.